Right now on Denver 7 News at 7 o'clock on Local 3, a Colorado family is reeling after their teen was killed over the weekend.
So it's like history repeating itself, and we just want everybody to know that Zay was an awesome kid.
How hundreds of people came together to honor the life of this teen taken too soon.
And so we've really invested a lot of time in access control.
1,000 Denver kids are back in the classroom today. We have a closer look at security changes students and families will notice as they get back on campus. And new details about what happened inside a Lakewood donut shop when an RV crashed through it. The owner is also sharing plans to move forward and telling us just how close of a call this really was. So just an incredible story. We're glad everyone is recovering. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Brady.
And I'm Brian Sanders. Happy Monday to you as you get your work week started. Let's get a check of your forecast from Lisa.
It's pretty out there right now. We've got a little mix of sun and clouds, low to mid 60s. Things are going to get warmer and drier here over the next few days. We picked up some pretty good rainfall this past weekend. Now we're looking at conditions drying out, less monsoon moisture in store. So here by about noon, we'll be in the upper 70s. We'll hit highs right around 83 to about 85 degrees today. So it is going to be a little warmer too. And statewide, we'll start to see these numbers rebound a bit too. The thunderstorms that we see today will likely be south of I-70. Better chance that we'll still see some wet weather there. A few widely scattered thunderstorms. Pretty dry though from Denver north up to Fort Collins. We're only at about a 20% chance for a storm or two later today. Even warmer, even drier tomorrow. I'll show you what to expect here on our Super 7-day for the rest of the week coming up.
And right now we still have two major problems. One is on I-225. The other one is on I-270. And unfortunately in the alternate route I would give you, we have a new crash. So it all started about an hour ago with this wreck right here on 270. Actually a little bit before an hour ago. It's been sitting there for so long. Take a look at the quad split. Unfortunately, I think this camera at Vasquez, it was showing the crash back there, but this is the resulting traffic jam all the way back to I-25, Highway 30. So it's just nasty in there. So as you take a look at the drive times, it's running well over a half an hour. Even the westbound side is running at a half an hour. Now the southbound side of I-25 is real heavy, and eastbound I-70, there's a new crash right here at York, so that's hanging up the drive even more for those folks coming from Federal on over to I-25. So it's extra super heavy for us, unfortunately. A crash on Mississippi at 225, and then take a look at the camera here at 225 with this armored truck still in that center lane, backed up to well before Parker Road. So any other side street before instead of 225 is a better option.
This morning, a Longmont family is going through the unimaginable, having to plan a funeral for a 13-year-old gunned down while playing basketball over the weekend. And the boy's cousin was also shot. He was able to still get out to a vigil and pay his respects to his cousin. That's him on the crutches there.
Yeah. Police did make an arrest in the case. The suspect is also a teenager. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is live where there is a memorial this morning as a tribute to the young boy killed. A lot of sadness in the community, Veronica, and a big question of how this could happen.
That's the big question, right? How could this happen? Why did this happen? Despite that, this memorial is just how you know that the community here loved this 13-year-old boy, Zay Rosales, so much. You see the flowers there, the pictures, so many memories here. The basketball is brought here as well because, of course, this is right next to the basketball court where those two boys were playing as they usually do. They hugged yesterday, you know, hundreds of people showed up here. They cried, mourning together, mourning Zay, remembering just how full of life he was.
Zay was an awesome kid. Everybody loved him. He was loved by many, and as you can see, all the people that are here, he was a good boy.
Zay's cousin, 15-year-old Elias D. Herrera, he was also shot Saturday afternoon. He was shot in the leg, but was home as of yesterday, even actually making an appearance at Zay's vigil last night. They weren't only family members here, though. There were so many teens as well, teens who should have been spending a Sunday evening getting ready for school this morning, maybe even just relaxing on their parents' couch watching TV. But instead, they stood alongside their friends, mourning another one of their friends, 13-year-old Zay. And as friends and family wake up this morning, we already saw one family member here at the memorial trying to pay his respects to Zay. They are also, again, wondering why this happened and how. They do have a separate question answered, though, and that's who did this. Police say they've arrested 19-year-old Yair Solis for charges on murder and attempted murder. They say he was a person who drove by this park and shot at the two teens. We're live in Longmont this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Thank you, Veronica. Much different scene in Denver public schools today. It's an exciting day as students make their return to class, although schools and campuses might look a little bit different in the name of safety. All DPS schools now have secured doors that trigger an alarm when an intruder enters from the outside or when it's propped open for too long. And office staff will be immediately notified and have immediate access to cameras that show the areas surrounding the door. DPS also says they've replaced 900 cameras over the summer and they've added 1,200 more.
If you keep bad things out of your building, you're ahead of the game. And so we've really invested a lot of time in access control and monitoring our entrances to our buildings and single point of entry to emphasize a secure perimeter and funneling everybody in and having checkpoints throughout that process.
And I sat down with DPS Superintendent Dr. Alex Marrero to talk about the district's new strategic roadmap dubbed Every Learner Thrives, which sets goals for students to achieve by 2026. We also talked about recent reports of infighting among school board members. In an open letter, Director Tay Anderson wrote last week that interpersonal issues have sidetracked the board from their important work for students. What would you say to parents who are reading these articles about the school board not being on the same page when it comes to their students?
I have an incredible amount of respect for all 7 of them, because when I meet with them, not only do they push my thinking, I see their passion in every session. I want to acknowledge that perhaps when they get together, as of late, they haven't been in a common accord. But I know that's going to change because now we have a strategic roadmap and also data that tells us, okay, we need to all get together beyond the school board, meaning all of you who are listening in need to rally behind our students because we all need the support.
What does it mean to lay out a strategic plan, and how will that guide your decisions?
It's a strategic roadmap. Now, why? And that may seem insignificant for some, but it's very important for me. So strategic thinking doesn't go away. A roadmap, there's many ways that you can get to your destination. A plan is very rigid. And what happened during the pandemic, there were a lot of plans that were crumbled up and tossed out the window.
We also discussed concerns about declining enrollment and school closures, as well as equity and closing gaps for students of color and non-English speakers. We'll post my full interview on thedenverchannel.com.
Well, to kick off the year in Denver Public Schools, the district is holding a back-to-school event as we take a live look at Ellis Elementary, which is about 20 minutes from school starting there at 7:30, and a great photo opportunity for any kids who arrive right there with the colorful wall background. And students and teachers will be welcomed back from the superintendent and other administrators who will be speaking with students and families there. So hopefully it's a happy and smooth first day for all.
Well, it has been a week now since this scene. An RV crashed into a popular donut shop in Lakewood. Several people were hurt. Too seriously, in fact, but they are recovering.
And the building itself is beyond repair. But Denver 7's Christian Lopez spoke to the business owner who is determined to put that business back together.
What started out as a normal Monday at Winchell's Donut House in Lakewood quickly took a turn for the worse when this RV went crashing through the building.
I couldn't breathe. It just stopped for a minute. And I don't remember. It was unbelievable.
Owner Hassan Batika says there were only a few people inside at the time.
And usually at that time I get busy. It would be 3-4 people here on the line. People putting cream and sugar right there. I'm glad there was nobody, only one customer. And I hope he's okay.
A 70-year-old man who Batika says is a frequent customer was thrown across the lobby. And it's hard not to think about how things could have ended much worse.
It's right in my neck size. I always stand right here, always, like this. Wait for customer or just talk to customer. It will give me a bed. I mean, I'm glad everybody's okay.
Batika must now say goodbye to the location he's known for the last 23 years.
You can see that the walls have been all boarded up, and there is still a lot of rubble here on the ground. There is shattered glass, pieces of wood, the W from the windshield sign, as well as that pan right there that fell out of that RV. And the inspectors actually found that the building was so unsafe, it has to be demolished.
He's looking into other potential locations right now.
I seen a good location closer to here, 0.2 miles. It's good for my customer, good for me, good for everybody. I mean, that's what I need. I need to relocate this as fast as I can.
But he doesn't know how long that'll take. He's also facing financial obstacles. Everything is a lot more expensive than it used to be. He's hoping for some support along the way so he can be back with his customers, who have become more like his family, as soon as he can.
I get really upset just thinking about what I'm gonna do every day.
In Lakewood, Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thrift stores in Colorado are having a moment. Why you may be fighting off bigger crowds to score those deals. Plus,
this is the playground that they wanted. This is the playground that they got.
Yeah, the big cherry on top for the Central 70 Road project will show you the new play space for kids with incredible views.